What's up, team? Okay, so for a while now I've wanted to make a video on how you can firmly grasp the different nuances and concepts in day trading and swing trading within 1 week's time. Now, by no means is this going to actually make you consistent at day trading or swing trading, but it'll give you the foundation. And so for this video, we're teaching Carol how to day trade.
And I have no idea what I'm doing.
Okay, so as you get started in day trading and swing trading, the first thing you really want to understand is technical analysis. This basically means analyzing chart data to find favorable and positive probabilities to give you an edge in the market using charts and stocks. So with that, she needed to understand what support and resistance was. Support meaning a level that holds the stock up when the stock is above it, and resistance meaning a level that holds the stock down when the stock is underneath it. Now, with support and resistance, there's a few things and concepts that she really needed to understand first. The first being confirmation, and the second being ranges. Confirmation is just when a stock tests and actually holds a specific level multiple times, and the more time a stock confirms a specific level, the better and more respected that level actually is. Now, ranges play into this, as a stock may confirm a specific price or level multiple times, thus forming a range at the highs and lows. When stocks finally break out of these ranges, you can many times get a sudden surge in volume, and that's what we call a breakout. This is from traders jumping in or getting stopped out, consequently exiting their positions. The overarching theme here is that when someone buys a stock, it causes the stock price to go up, and when someone sells a stock, it causes that stock price to go down. How much it goes up and down is going to depend on the volume of the buys and sells relative to the total amount of shares that are actually available for people to buy or sell. The total amount there is what we call a float, and if it's a small float, meaning there aren't many shares available, that can cause stocks to push up and down in really huge swings. And if the stock has a larger float, it's a lot harder to make that stock move overall. Once we went over those core concepts, the next thing I really wanted Carol to start to understand is the different strategies at work. I think that's the base to every system, and so that's what we went over next. Okay, so the first strategy that I really wanted to teach Carol was the VWAP rebound bounce setup. Now, I've gone over this one before, and it's a pattern that I created that consists of a stock maintaining an upward trend, pulling back below the VWAP and forming a really noticeable confirmed low before pulling back above the VWAP area and holding it as support. This allows you to enter your long position right around the VWAP area pullback, looking for a bounce up to the previous high of the day and beyond. I decided on this specific strategy for a few reasons. First of all, it's a very high percentage setup if you trade it on the right stocks and sectors, and I think looking for simple, effective strategies helps a new trader find consistency the quickest. And since I've also traded this strategy a ton, I already understand how well it works and what she should expect with regard to accuracy. I've backtested this specific strategy extensively, and so with that said, it ends up working around 70% of the time. Again, if you want more information on how I specifically backtest, I'll include a link in the description on a free, roughly 30-minute class that we have, so go check that out too. The next reason was that it presents you with obvious risk and reward levels. The risk level being the noticeable low that formed under the VWAP that we mentioned earlier, and the reward target being the previous high of the day. For reward targets, I love keeping them at previous high and lows of the day. That keeps it really binary and simple and easy for beginners to understand. And so with that, if the stock breaks under that low, you can understandably exit the trade, and if the stock reaches the previous high of the day, you can exit the entire position as a success. Another thing is that we are not taking partials quite yet. I just want to teach her one and done, and the reason is because it keeps it binary again and also makes it simple. Scaling is a little bit more advanced, and so we are just going to go with the easiest thing at this point just so she can pick it up quickly. Now that she had the basics out of the way, one of the major aspects of trading and finding consistency is simply conditioning yourself to make the right decisions. It's like Pavlov and the dog. You need repetition in order to avoid emotional trading, and so what I had her do was simply repeat this type of trade using the same trading plan on Thinkorswim on demand, thus helping her really imprint the risk-reward aspect as well as simply buying and selling stocks. This is one of those areas where the more time you spend actually repeating a specific strategy, the more you will understand the different pitfalls to avoid as well as ideal profit-taking levels in trading. This will give traders a more keen eye on not only spotting the strategy, but actually being able to execute when the time comes and you're using real money. And so I hope that makes sense, and it's something I definitely recommend before you do real money in the future. A key understanding I think new traders should really focus on grasping is, again, building that type of effective trading plan, and that means understanding where you will enter, where you will exit for a loss, exit for a profit, and how many shares you will take in the position. These are things you should understand before you enter a position, not during the trade. Because if you don't build this type of thing before you actually enter, the trades become much more random and harder to manage overall. Because if you really think about it, you can follow this type of plan once you're in the trade, similar to an instruction manual. That takes subjective emotions out of it completely and helps you remain calm in the trade. Again, it's an incredible way to eliminate some of those negative emotions that new traders face when they're in a position and stressed out. After she learned day trading, I did teach her a little bit about swing trading as well, and so I'll include that here. I mostly talked about my swing trade over this weekend where I'm holding Snapchat. It went over a lot of concepts not only in actual swing trading, but in day trading and technical analysis as a whole, and so I think it's a pretty good listen. Hope you enjoy it. Okay, so the stock I decided to ultimately jump in right before the close on Friday for a swing trade over the weekend was Snapchat. And the reason I decided to jump in this was purely technical in nature. One thing you'll notice here if we look at the Snapchat chart is that right before the closing bell on Friday, it did break above the previous high of the day and also above the whole dollar of 20. When you look a little bit longer term on this move as well, you can see it actually built up a pretty obvious range here in the last few days when looking at the 5-minute chart, and you can see the high was right around the whole dollar of 20 and the low was right around the whole dollar of 19. That's a really nice range break for me to attack on a short-term basis, and again, I'm really not trying to marry this stock, but purely technical in nature, it's showing a really lot of positive bullish sentiment on a very short-term basis. And even if we look at the long-term chart, something I really like to see here is that Snapchat actually broke above the previous high of the entire last year, above that whole dollar of 20. The previous high prior till today was right around this 1988 level, and we hit that around January. Looking back a little bit more, you can see Snapchat actually broke above the high of the last few years. The last time it broke this level at $20, we were right around here in February of 2018. And so with that, I think we might get a short-term push. And again, if we look at the chart here, it looks pretty positive for my overall swing trade for the weekend. And so yeah, towards the end of this week we spent teaching Carol day trading. We looked at my snap trade that I'm holding over the weekend. It was a really good lesson on range breakouts, volume, and where to set a stop loss with trades like this, and you can see the examples of confirmation on this specific chart as well. I'm currently up around $860, and like I said before, if it breaks under 20, I'll probably just exit this one on Monday. But if you want to watch to see what actually happens with this specific trade, you know we do live stream every single weekday morning for free on YouTube, and so we day trade live at the open. And like I said, if you want to see what happens with this one, be sure to join us then, and you can click the subscribe button and bell to get a notification when we go live. Alright team, that's it for this one. Carol's trading lessons are done. Remember, if you want to see more day trading content like this, be sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you click the bell, you'll get a notification every time we go live, which is every weekday morning. We day trade live on stream right here on YouTube. And so we'll see you all then Monday morning. Good luck in the markets, and thanks for watching, team.